Okay, we have another unboxing, and I have to admit, I am not entirely thrilled with this packing job already. It is an orange crate with cardboard put across the top and a couple of strips of tape. I hope there's more under it than that, but we'll see. Okay, it's at least double boxed. That helps. Although this box is pretty thin. Let's see. Not even all the way closed. I'll tell you one thing, if this is damaged, I'm gonna raise some issues about packing. Let's hope not. It's got a nice leather smell. And what do we have here? Oh, it's a nice leather handle too. That handle's still good. It is an Underwood standard portable number 3 bank. And I have to say, I can't say I love the notion that the feed roller just fell out. But at least they included it, I suppose. Look at the description, see if it said that was the case. Where would that have come from? Anyway, here it is. Underwood standard portable 3 bank. I'll keep wanting to say it's a number 3. It's just that it's a 3 bank. It looks pretty nice, though we know it must have... Oh, I saw something else go rolling around in there. Alright, we're going to have to play with that. Feet, I guess. Okay, alright. Well, we'll figure it out. Well, I should finish up this introduction. I was so taken aback by some of those things that I didn't really comment. This is an Underwood standard portable 3 bank. You can see here, standard portable typewriter. It was shipped here from England, and I was very excited because I always love these local shops marks of various kinds, and this one, W. Harold Spink or Shrink or something. Let's try and get that to focus. Come on, focus on that. There we go. But specifically Leeds, England. That's pretty cool. Excited about that. As I was putting the video together, I couldn't just leave it there. This machine has serial number 177600, which puts its manufacture date at about February of 1926. I found this picture from the Leeds Library that shows in 1928 the W. Harold Spink storefront was at 6 Park Lane, where it also apparently dealt in wireless machines, meaning radios. However, only 2 years later, they also have a picture from 1930 that shows that Spink's store had moved to 50 Albion Street, where it would be at least until this 1957 ad seen from listing on eBay. As the sticker clearly has an address on a lane, it must be from before that move, and therefore before 1930. And if the machine was made in 1926 and sold sometime after that, I believe the sticker was original from its sale sometime between 1926 and 1929, and not from some subsequent servicing. A few other things. So this is a 3 bank, not the 4 bank, which makes it just so tiny. Oh, I like it. It does have just an absolutely destroyed feed roller. And I don't know how to get to them, but I can look down in there and see. Look in there, that one is no better, and that one is gone. So somehow we're gonna have to get in there. Platen isn't in terrible shape except for where that one melted to it. Might be able to sand that off. We'll find out. The rest of the hardware looks in pretty good shape. It looks pretty clean. Let's see if I can get a little view in there. It's not even all that dirty. A little scrubbing. That'll be fine. Got to try and figure out how to get it off of this board. And certainly going to have to see if I can find some feed rollers. Those will either have to go to JJ Short. I think I actually saw someone making the rubber for this out of something 3D printed on eBay. I'll look at that. Certainly also I've got tons of this falling out. Those are certainly feet. Feet don't really matter until I can figure out how to get it off the board. It doesn't appear that it's screwed to the base with these screws, though these feet are pretty bad too. I don't ever care about those as much. But there's no hardware that goes through from that base to here. And I see, if you can look in through there, there's a little mount for the feet of the actual typewriter to fit there. So something will release this from the board, and I just don't know what it is yet. I'll have to find out. If I do, I'll let you know. Been playing around with it a little bit, and I found when you look down in here next to the platen knob, and I can't quite, here, let's get some light down there. There we go. In that hole was a little screw, which I have just removed. I'm gonna have to keep track of parts here, but when you do that, you can just pull this central pin all the way out, and when you do that, the platen is now released. Now, of course, we can see how messed up that second feed roller is and the lack of the first one. We're gonna have to do something about those, so there's no reason not to just leave it apart. One thing I will notice is that this one has some hardware that's going to fall out once I'm done. So there's a little bushing here, and this lever that controls the paper release. It's pretty obvious that it goes in there because it sits under that little push lever there. I don't think there's anything loose on this side. And now, thanks to a video from Typewriter Justice, I know how to take this off of its base plate. There's apparently a screw down here, and once we do that, it will come apart, come off of its base. I will link to that video in the description here, and you can watch his video, which was very helpful to me. And now got it off its base. Nothing too remarkable here. Those back 2 feet are just completely gone. The front 2 feet are hanging on, hard as heck, but come on, focus. There you go. Pretty hard, but decent. These baseboard bushings are hard but serviceable. I'll see if I can find a rubbers kit. I think this is a common enough one. There should probably be rubber pieces available. Got all the other junk out of here, and I will clean this all up. We'll see if we can get this guy back to working shape, but it's far from working right now, owing to the feed rollers, if nothing else. All right, we'll get that sorted, and we'll be back to this probably in a couple of months. Well, we're back here with the Underwood Standard Portable 3-bank. In the interim, I found someone who not only makes the feet, they also make feed rollers. And so I've ordered those feed rollers, obviously, because I have them in my hand. We're going to install those on this machine. And it doesn't make any sense to do that until I've done a little bit of a cleaning. I have just put out my cleaning of the Remington Rand KMC, which was basically a cleaning. And so I'm not going to really spend any time showing you the cleaning here. In a flash, you'll just see a clean machine, I hope. Okay, we've given her a little scrub overall. little bit of wet sand here and there. Obviously there's still some gunk under some of these keys, so maybe pull a key or two off to clean something, but generally definitely scrubbed the type bars. Might just be a heavy shadow. So let's start replacing some of the rubber components. Pull out these things we got here. Let's put on some new feet. Boy, it's pretty gross in there. Let's start by cleaning the it just may not be very deep. No, there's some gunk in there. There it goes. Obviously there's no rear feet at all. The whole point of doing that first was not to get mineral spirits on these feet. So let's dry these off. That's certainly better than it was. That one came out a little easier. Obviously these feet are just destroyed. Here, take a look at the just crumbling away, as you'd expect. It's a machine of a certain age. This one had old melted rubber sitting right on the head. This probably does too, but I'm not going to worry about it because it's already installed. Chips of rubber breaking away as I pull on that. Actually, what is this over here? Oop. That was more feet jammed in there between the frame. Didn't see that until just now. Alright, 4 new feet. That's the easy part. Next, I guess, is the feed rollers. Where did I put the old feed rollers? Platen. Hard as a rock, but we'll figure that out. And hardware. I was wondering how I was going to get this off. It just peels off. That rubber is gone. This other one's not as bad, which for my purposes might be worse. Big hook knife. May have to soak this in something to get that off of there. At least the other one was so bad it just peeled off. Yeah, I'm still going to have to clean that too, but let's see. Can I kind of whittle it off? I really don't want to hit the metal, at least not too much. Well, that's working. I don't appear to be getting the metal too badly. I'm kind of at a very glancing angle. Kind of the whittling angle. There's probably some better looking way to do this, but this is working. Alright. I'm not sure if there's any reason I shouldn't just soak those in mineral spirits. Alright, while those feed roller axles or bales or whatever they'd call are in some mineral spirits trying to soak the last bit of that rubber off, here's the feed roller. Now it's pretty hard as well, but in comparison with the feed rollers, it's doing great. There was one spot right here where one of the feed rollers had left a ridge and I scraped it away with this, with my knife same knife I was using before. Real carefully scraped it just to where it was the right height, and then sanded it just a bit. There's like one little bit there still. Kind of wet sand that off of there. Anyway, I'm going to do some simple green and then rubber renew if I have to. I've been doing it a little bit. It's pretty gross. So I'll do some of that and I'll be back when those are done. Alright, soaking mineral spirits did wonders for these. I gave this quite a scrubbing, and I did even use the rubber renew. It's still hard as a rock, but maybe not quite as a rock. I don't have one of those fancy gauges that measures how the hardness of the material. This should be fine for a while at least, I think. Let's put these new feed rollers on. Just slide on. Seems to be the order of the day. Center them as best as possible. Looks pretty good. Drop these guys in where they belong, and we can start reassembling the platen. Now, I may end up having to go back and review my video of taking these apart, but I think there's just, yeah, there's a little widget that guy interacts with. So this one goes in first. Sits on the little widget. You guys probably want to see what I'm doing. Alright, so you can see how there's just this little lever that gets interacted with this lever, and then this spacer is enough to fill that gap. Now, surely this way has to go in first. I remember this not being especially easy to feed through, even when it was just on its own, let alone now having to go through this housing here. That's going to be a little bit interesting. How do you do that? Oh, made a little progress there. Ah, there we go. And pretty sure I can see the flat there. So that will get the set screw. Well, it's in. It was a lot easier when it didn't have the camera in the way. That means we basically have a standard portable 3-bank. Everything seems to be functioning. Single space, double space, release. See the step release, Looks like everything is back to working. That's good. So now we just need to throw a ribbon on it and we'll be good. I'm about out of time for tonight, so that'll probably be tomorrow. Okay, I've thrown some new ribbon onto the ribbon spools. You'll notice I don't load mine up real full. I'm not going to be typing so much that I'm going to need to use that. I'm more worried about, it's just not going to last real long. And so I don't really fill them up, except in the case of that Remington Jr. where that's how the ribbon reverser works. Now, one other point. I don't believe this thing has a ribbon reverser. So I have not installed grommets on here. If it turns out I'm wrong, someone tell me in the comments. Set it to red, cause jam. That gives us better access. The ribbon vibrator. Up and in. Very good. Set it back to black. At which point now I can take off my gloves. Grab a piece of paper. We can finally see it type. See those new feed spools come in. That's nice. Feed rollers, I'm sorry. Let's see. We'll also want to make sure we want to be feeding the other direction here. Yep. All right. There we go. Better strike on that. Should always practice where's my single quote before I do this, and yet I don't. Overall, I'm pretty happy. All she really needed was a scrub and some new rubber that I was able to get on eBay. This little machine has become one of my favorites to type on. Though it is an antique, and you can tell, it still has very nice action and feel. You really can type a letter on it, unlike some antiques. And because it is such a tiny portable, you can take it to a park where it will never fail to attract interested looks from passers-by. So, we're going to say that's it for the Underwood Standard Portable 3-Bank. Thank you for watching Dynamically Typed. Look forward to seeing you next time.